It's pretty, isn't it? It's really, really pretty. Okay, I'll try and get this intro out of the way nice and succinctly, because all of what I'm about to do is entirely unfamiliar. So I've got to concentrate on what I'm doing so that I don't do it wrong. Currently, in the glorious surrounds of Warburton, just outside of Melbourne, after staying a couple of nights with a mate who has some B&Bs up here. So, I'm on a road to discovery beside the Yarra River, a location which is beautiful. A temporary pause in the riding because I just need to sit a little bit idle and not be distracted by the gradient of going up this hill to explain myself, because the best of intentions didn't come to fruition. I'd packed a couple of bikes and I drove from Sydney to Melbourne last Friday, and today is Wednesday. And in that time I'd hoped to do a hell of a lot of riding, and I've done zero. I've had some meetings with clients in town, and I've caught up with some mates who live down in Victoria. And finally, I've pulled out one of the bikes, my Chinelli Pressure ADR, and I'm going up a mountain. I left Warburton 15 minutes ago, and the only person I've seen in that time is Rob Eva, who's a local and a local legend, a legend of cycling in Australia. Rob Eva has multiple national champion mountain bike rider who became the face of SRAM, let's say. And he's recently retired, and now he's off to do some trail management now that I've left him behind. But he's given me a quick overview of the rides that I can do, and it all sounds wonderful, and it all looks spectacular. I've never been here, and except for the tiny little bit of local knowledge that I got from Rob, I know nothing about what to expect. There's about 15 kilometres between where I am now and the top. So, there's a lot more I could tell you about what I've been doing of late, but that's a quick summary of this story of my ride on the 30th of October 2024. Join me and let's see what I learn, and I'll share that with you, should it be of interest. As they say in the graffiti around here, and I've just read it for the first time, Onza! Alright, good news for me, zero wind, coolish conditions this morning, warming up rapidly, expected to be cool at the top, so I'm loaded up with various accoutrement, let's say leg warmers, arm warmers, and a rain cape should that be required. But currently roads are dry and no sign of rain. Before I hit some really steep gradient, I will say apologies to my Victorian viewers who know all about this region and are probably thinking, Rob, we know it's spectacular cycling country. We know it's the place to go. We know there's gravel mountain biking and road cycling to be enjoyed very close to our capital, very close to Melbourne. I know that many people know about this, but for me, I'm capturing my reaction as I make my way up this hill for the first time. You could say this is about 7 kilometres in to the climb, and it's 518 metres of vertical gain. And this little patch here, where it says Rainforest Gallery, is the first time that I've actually seen any flat road. And with Mount Donna Buang 9 kilometres away, here's the way I saw it. The first section, in my estimation, is relatively easy. In other words, a gradient of more or less 4%, 5%, maybe patches slightly steeper, but pretty much, you know, like cruisy. Find a gear, settle in, tap, away at the pedals. He says clipping in again because he's just spotted another little potential layover, which could be a little bit prettier. The big Rainforest Gallery sign should have given that away, but it's not gravel, it's not road, it's not mountain biking, it's what I would call perfect viewing platform terrain, and also I would say very good for inducement of vertigo, because I don't feel that comfortable here actually. I'm not a wuss, but like, it's just a little bit freaky, you know, like looking down at your feet and seeing ground 30 metres below. "15 metres below, as that sign tells me. But what I know already is I'm coming back with the family because we enjoy a good bushwalk, and this looks like a bloody unreal bushwalk. Any time of the year. Look at this. This journey down to Victoria has provided me with a couple of precedent sightings. My first stopover was in Tarthra, and I bumped into a echidna, which literally almost bumped into me because they've clearly got an acute sense of hearing. They're very poor eyesight. And then yesterday, after some meetings in Melbourne, right in front of me appeared a platypus. I always think that I'm going to see one, and I never do, but I did. And then I sat there for a little bit longer, and there was just platypus after platypus after platypus. And I don't recall that ever happening in my lifetime. So, echidna, platypus, stunning scenery, good dose of vertigo, which is rapidly calming down while I catch my breath at the Rainforest Gallery on my way up to Mount Donna Buang. I'm going to just clip back into the pedals and keep on trucking up the hill. So, continuing, and that's actually showing -1% gradient. Woo! Party time. But it's not going to be like that for much longer. Road surface, as I've just tried to illustrate, pretty bloody good, considering this, from my understanding, from what the locals tell me, can get, you know, covered in snow. And it can also get chilly at the top, I've been told. Currently, at 600 metres of climbing exactly, and it's 9 degrees. Whereas at the bottom, it was 14 degrees. So, up into the mist, and sight of fallen trees, massive trees. Oh, it's pretty, isn't it? It's really, really pretty. And it's not, I haven't had a bit where I'm like, oh, this is painfully difficult yet. But pretty much all of the way has been, this is lusciously beautiful. It's so quiet. And up until now, just one car. And they gave me loads of room, so everything was tickety-boo. But I heard a lyrebird just there, and it's now 6 degrees. So I thought I would use the excuse of a potential sighting of one of my favourite birds as an excuse to pull over and catch my breath. I mean, as a good excuse to pull over and take in the serenity. I haven't really been out of breath, and if I hadn't had that considerable delay of, like, let's say a week since my last ride, I don't think I would be panting quite as much as I am today. But what I'm trying to say, this is a ride I think most people could do if they've got gears on their bike. And, you know, I'm sure it would be pretty precarious, sketchy, dodgy, frightening, descending if this was a big downpour, if there was a big downpour when you were doing that. But as it is, I think, you know, it's not a really technical road, to be honest. I was expecting a few more hairpins, given that the elevation gain is considerable and on not such a long stretch of road. But it's very sort of mild. There hasn't been a hairpin yet, and yeah, it's been a really enjoyable ride. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's pretty, and I'm certainly learning a lot by simply taking the time to look around. But the lyrebird didn't turn up, and I'm not expecting to be able to show you a view when I get to the top on account of this cloud moving in quite rapidly now. Did you get a view there? I didn't. Oh, so pretty. So, I've just learned that one of the local hobbies is destroying tyres and wasting money. I don't know if it's the locals or the visitors who are doing it, but that seems to be a spot in which they liked to do exactly that. And just like that, like literally within 300 meters, the battle of blue sky versus cloud has reached a conclusion. A microsecond ago, I was in thick fog, and now, look at that! Happy, happy, happy days. Anyway, there you go. Actually, it's the first time I put my sunnies on. And let's do this together. I don't want to look down, so I'm actually quite terrified, but I can only say that this has blown my mind. Like, it's unreal. Like, to be frank, I was anticipating more of a challenge, to be honest. Yeah, like, I mean, I looked at the Strava file, I thought, okay, it's like 1100 meters of elevation gain, it's not that far of a road. I'd put in my mind it would be something a little bit like Monte Campione, which I did in Italy about 4 months ago, like back in the middle of June. And no, that was heaps, much harder than this. That was sort of 10% most of the way, and this is, to be honest, it rarely got over 6 or 7%. So I'm saying that's the how would you phrase it? Probably the easiest difficult climb you could do when you're riding a bike. It's just it's really steady. It's quite pleasant. It's enjoyable. It's pretty. It was a great experience, so I'm happy about that. I'm not going to push myself today. I've got to drive back to Sydney and commit to many hours in the car. So I just sort of needed to stretch my legs, and I've done that. And then I'll come back and explore the mountains properly. And now it's time to film the downhill. I'm going to take it easy because I don't know this road other than what I've seen on the way up. But, you know, it could be part of my RoadToRide gallery series that I'm yet to publish, but I'm collecting. So join me. Okay, let's have fun.